Hello and welcome. This video will give an insight to some of the useful digital resources that pupils have access to in Bishopbriggs Academy in order to support their studies. We're first going to start with Glow. Glow is a platform which has multiple uses, one of them being the pupils' school email addresses. Once you get logged into Glow, it can be used in multiple different ways, which I'll talk through. To access Glow, pupils need their username or email address. This username or email address they should have and they should use regularly in school, but if they don't or they haven't in a while, it should start with ED027, be their first initial and surname, and then usually for pupils ends with the year that they started the school. So for example, if I started the school in 2018, I would follow this with an 18. Once they've got that, they can then log in using their password. Now their password is something that they have created themselves, and if they have forgotten this, they can say, I've forgotten my password, to do a reset, or alternatively let a teacher know in school. Any teacher can reset this for them. Once you log into Glow, you access the launchpad. Now the launchpad may look slightly different person to person because you can customise this layout. The main things you're looking for from your launchpad are Mail for your email, OneDrive, which is a form of cloud storage and gives you access to Microsoft Office, so Microsoft Word and PowerPoint, Satchel, which is the previously known Show My Homework, which is the online diary where teachers communicate assignments and test dates, and Microsoft Teams just down the bottom left. And that we'll get into in a little bit more detail. What I would really like to focus on today is the use of Satchel and Microsoft Teams. Once you click on the Satchel tile, it takes you directly to Satchel 1. Satchel is essentially used as an online diary where teachers create assignments and homework tasks or test dates with some resources for pupils so that they don't have to keep a paper diary themselves. It helps them keep organised and make sure that they can manage their time more effectively. This is used across all of the subjects in Bishopbriggs Academy and is something that pupils should be accessing throughout the day. There is an app version of Satchel 1 that they can download onto their phones, and this is particularly useful for senior phase pupils S4, S5 and S6. The next thing we're going to look at is Microsoft Teams, and we'll look at this in a little bit more detail. Microsoft Teams doesn't just post what work you should be doing, but it also takes you through different resources. Pupils have been added to multiple different teams across different subjects and departments, and they may also have additional teams such as S4 supported study or S5 and 6 supported study depending on the year. Pupils can use these resources in different ways, but essentially this is where you find all of your resources in classwork. So if I was a pupil of higher physics, I could click on my higher physics team. I have a different channel for different versions of the classes, and I also have a general channel where all higher pupils can access. Within this channel, we have a file section which gives them access to all class materials. This could be introductory units, it could be course information from the SQA, and it could be coursework itself. Now in physics, one of the topics at higher is particles and waves, and particles and waves is split into 8 sections, or 9 sections here, with 2 being class problems and summary notes. If I was off for a lesson in interference, or I would like to revise some interference, I've got the class PowerPoint, I've got a Word document with the workbook, and then a completed version of that to see what notes I have to fill in where. Over and above that, we do have some revision resources. Revision resources might be available in a specific department's team, or alternatively, you can check the supported study teams. If I click on the S4 supported study team just now, you will see that we have a team dedicated to every single subject's revision resources and supported study resources. If you click in the Files section, you will see there is already revision resources and supported study resources. Revision resources are there just to help pupils access resources that might be useful to their own revision in their own way. Supported study is a bit more structured, week on week, with set tasks which are built upon each week. Within the revision resources for physics, we've decided to put in past papers and some revision for each section. So we have summary notes, problems, study quizzes, past paper questions, and completed PLPs as well, which are the workbooks in science. Each subject will have a variety of different resources that they feel are useful for their specific subject, and pupils should access these via this team. If I show an example of the supported study team, week 1, we have a supported study video, which they can talk through, a PowerPoint, and some questions and solutions. So pupils are guided in their revision. If I show an example of another team, let me click on Maths for example. Again, every week we have posted work for pupils to work through, which is still available. We have exam revision, which has been structured. So we've got whole course revision here. Week 1 to week 5 with all the resources. Over and above this, pupils have access to different department YouTube channels which have useful videos to help pupils while studying. In order to access that, the easiest way is to search for Bishopbriggs Academy on YouTube. Subscribe at the right hand side here in order to keep up with any notifications. You have different resources available on the Bishopbriggs Academy YouTube channel already, but at the top here you have access to different departments' YouTube channels. So for example, if I choose Miss Little's Maths Help videos, Miss Little has created an in-depth YouTube channel going through different types of questions, all sectioned off in different playlists for different levels, which will help pupils alongside questions. Finally, the last thing I would like to show you is the Raising Attainment and Achievement videos to help pupils with their study skills. If you scroll along to the department YouTube channels and click on Attainment and Achievement, pupils have access to something called the Playbook. This essentially follows a list of rules to help build resilience, to help structure pupils' time, gives top tips in terms of to-do lists, organising workspace, getting organised in terms of revision, and there are key videos in terms of building resilience as well. That was a very brief summary of some of the digital technology that we use at Bishopbriggs Academy in order to support pupils. Pupils have access to a range of resources, and it's about accessing these resources in a structured way in order to support their learning.